This is Damon. I'm in what part of Tennessee is this considered?
Embreeville, Tennessee.
Embreeville, Tennessee. And
Outside of Irwin.
and if you could just tell me your name.
My name's David Charles White, and I grew up right here on the Nolechucky and spent my whole life here.
It's a pleasure to meet you. I'm
Nice
sorry
meeting
it's
you,
on
sir.
these circumstances.
It's
Obviously.
all good. It's all
So
good.
we'll start with the basics. Over here, you were telling me. Well, just go ahead and start where you want to start. We'll
Okay,
just go from there, from the beginning.
This is my field. This is where my farm was. This is a spot that's kind of a local landmark called Big Rock. And that right there is the Big Rock, minus the section the flood knocked out right here.
So it washed. You were saying that the rocks, they went all the way across from left to right.
It went from right down here at the tip. You can see it sloping down out above the sand dunes, all the way up here to the road. This entire section here was about 30 feet high and was knocked out by the floodwaters, just completely bulldozed over. This road descended across my field down to the river. None of that sand was here, and the lake certainly wasn't.
So he's talking about this road here actually used to continue clear ass across
all the way to the river down there, which the river is in basically the same spot, except I have a lake now, another pond there, and a giant mound of sand at the place, which beach parties will be fun, I guess.
So your property, I mean, obviously, how much of it washed away?
Everything here underwater was farmland. I mean, my tomatoes grew and peppers right there. I had a barn and 3 other sheds right here. That's what this giant brown spot is. This is where my barn used to be.
Shit.
There in the distance, you can see my tractor. The gray one upside down flipped. It was here. My motorcycle is sticking out above the debris right there.
We'll take a gander over there. We won't walk all the way over, but if you don't mind, here, I want you to I'll just hold that right there.
I will, sir, I will.
Please, appreciate you. And you can tell me anything more. So you used to grow tomatoes.
Tomatoes and peppers. Like I said, we had apple trees on either side of the road going all the way to the river.
Said he made some fantastic cider.
And they just no longer exist. One of the saddest things out there in the dune sea, as I call it, is the bubbles coming up through the sand, and that's bodies, whether livestock or people or whatever, decomposing in the gases.
Now, we talked to somebody, I'm going to kind of get closer
Yeah.
here. We were talking to somebody down the way, and they were saying that they had bodies from North Carolina.
I found things that I will never unsee, sir.
Because they were telling me that most of the bodies, they're estimating, of course, is all estimate, 16 bodies probably from local. But
I was told by the guy up here at the fire department that there were at least 40 dead in the Embreeville, Bumpus Cove, and Little Germany communities. And that kind of makes sense. That community was really close to the river. It was mostly poorer and elderly people, who many of which didn't even have running vehicles to be able to escape the waters. And the waters were so fast. You can see a metal roof in the distance. That's a little tiny house that was here in the field, right 50 yards up from where we're standing now. And when the water hit the tiny house at the floor of it, where this road goes by, it was another 20 minutes, and it was up to the windows on the house across the street and pouring through the house. I mean, in less than 20 minutes.
So this isn't, when we're talking about right here, that's in this area.
Totally underwater, cleared the highway.
And was all the way up top to where the White House is across the way.
Yes, sir. It came up to the windows on the first floor and flowed through the bottom floor of the house. That's the house I grew up in. So we lost a lot of pictures and baby stuff.
Everything.
And things that, memories and stuff that are just gone.
So do you have a vehicle to go get anything?
Yeah, I've got a little Hell Wagon Subaru that the hood got busted in during this adventure.
I was going to offer if we could take you somewhere to go get it, we'd go.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it, but I'm gold there. There's a lot of people that need a lot more help than me. I was extremely fortunate, like I said. My family's alive. Yeah, we lost all the tools and the farm and shit, but no one was hurt. You know what I mean? And we were able to get the elderlies around here out. Because there were a lot of octogenarians just within 500 yards of here. Almost every house had 80-year-olds in it. So we spent that whole morning evacuating them rather than trying to save what we could from the floodwaters.
And I've heard that everywhere from the locals. They did everything to help each other.
Yeah, everyone, and I'll give the entire community all the utmost respect for that. I mean, everyone joined together. Everyone tried to help and save people. I mean, The normal racism and bigotry that you encounter in the South, especially with migrant workers here, just disappeared instantly. The only people that's came from is the Sheriff's Department, and I would like to say on record here.
Put that mic up too.
Yes, I would like to say on record here that the Sheriff's Department of Washington County, Tennessee has accused the migrant workers and Mexicans of looting and stealing all through this community, and it is not happened. It has not happened, period. Those guys have tried to help out anybody they could and have tried to survive. And in the whole time I've lived here, 38 years, I've had a hell of a lot of problems out of white people, but I have never had a problem out of a single migrant worker.
And what I've heard, and you can correct me,
And that's
if
a
I'm wrong,
fact,
this is just
man.
heard.
I'm just telling the way it is right there.
Absolutely. That's all we want. It's just the truth, right? So locally, and again, take this a grain of salt for me, we've been looking at TikToks, looking at all that stuff, and it seems, again, from people on there, the locals haven't been saying it was Mexicans. It was people from neighboring.
Yes, sir. It's what I like to call loot tourism is what's happened. And most of even the traffic you're seeing on the roads right now, it's outsiders just coming for disaster tourism, just to look and nothing else, just to gawk and say they saw
So
it.
they don't even talk to you.
No, not at all, not at all.
They're
not trying to get any story. They just want to look at destruction and go about their way because it's disaster porn for them. I mean, that's really what it is. And it's sad. It's kind of disgusting. Instead of coming down here and looking for disaster porn, come down here and see if you can help out. See if you can move some fucking trees out of somebody's yard. See if you can help someone get back to their front door for a change. Because right there at my mom's, you can't get to the front door right now. And she's one of the fortunate few that still has her home. There's far too many that don't. Far too many that don't. But the community's they've banded together and the donations are pouring in and they're helping people. And that's what's supposed to happen.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things. Like we both came from Orlando, and it's not bragging or anything. We saw the news media saying everything's okay.
Right.
FEMA, everything's okay. Red Cross, everything's okay.
Nothing's
Except for
okay.
Asheville, right? Because to me, everything's the focus on Asheville because follow the money.
Right, exactly.
That's my opinion, but I've been on this earth for a little bit.
That's a richer area, and everyone here is poor farmers. I mean, the vast majority of them are limited income. And I'll tell you what, there's 100 Sheriff's Department officers down here at the crossroads.
All right, let's try again.
Okay.
All right, so go ahead. The cops down there.
Yeah, they've got a hell of a command post down here at the store. But I don't see them out here helping people move things. I don't see them out here assisting anything other than standing around. And there's 100 people standing around at that command post, not doing a damn thing, okay? And that's just a fact, all right?
We saw something what looked like to be National Guard. Do you know if those are National Guard in the camouflage, or is that locals that just have to
I think it's locals that just so happen to be and have put on their outfits, because I haven't seen anything that would confirm that at all. Now, we were fortunate down at the house that we got power and water back yesterday, all right? Most people don't. They don't have that at all. And yeah, there's donations pouring out of the churches and stuff, but what people need is help on the ground. They need physical labor to help them get back to their homes and recover what's left.
Do you have Wi-Fi?
No, not presently. My cell phone barely gets service right now.
We noticed that while we were
barely at all. If I drive out to the road a little bit, I can get a phone call out. Right now, I can get text. That's about it.
So you haven't heard any of the stories? Have you heard any of the stories where they're arresting people, bringing in?
I saw on CNN yesterday stories of the plant in Irwin and the plant in Greenville that made their workers stay till they drowned. And that's the first I'd heard of that was on CNN this morning. I hadn't heard anything locally at all. But like I said, I didn't have access to anything, any outside information at all until this morning.
Well, let me give you some of what we've heard.
Okay.
So we're being told that FEMA and the Red Cross, or FEMA is basically coming in and taking people's rations. So if they're going to a church to donate before they get their checkpoints, they're taking their supplies and giving them, the FEMA is basically commandeering everything.
Really?
So I don't know if you heard that or not.
I haven't yet, sir.
We can't validate. We've heard from some people, yes. We've heard from some people, no. We heard some people are crazy, but those aren't the people on the ground. Those are the people that are in some other state going, there's no
I'll
way
be honest, I've yet to see a FEMA person. I've yet to see a Red Cross person. The only people I've seen are the Sheriff's Department giving people help.
And we did hear
And I'll
that.
probably end up getting arrested for saying this stuff, but I don't give a damn because it's the truth, all right? And that's just it. And, the truth will stand when the world's on fire. That's what I was taught as a child, and that's what I live by.
And that's the important part, right? Is getting it out there. And I don't try to edit anything. I'll probably just throw everything out there raw.
Do it. I hope so. I want everybody to hear what happened the way it is. I mean,
it is what it is.
I've
It
got no
sucks.
problems.
And we heard the same thing in So I'll tell you how we got here. Burnsville, North Carolina, my cousin was up there. We were trying to locate her. We ended up finding out she was okay. We bring the stuff up.
Right.
Burnsville, same things happened. They were like, we don't have food, we don't have anything. Red Cross, everything's good. But they do have water, they have a ton of it, they have all that stuff. So, they told us, hey, go to neighboring areas. They're having a really awful time.
Right.
So I was like, okay. We ended up, because there's no hotels out there, FEMA's taking them all over. Red Cross taking them all over. There's nothing.
That's very interesting. Like I said earlier, I have yet to see any individuals from FEMA or the Red Cross, period. And I've been between the donation churches and the command most 20 times a day. My father's volunteering up here at the church because it's the church he teaches Sunday school at. So I've been going back and forth there all day. And I've yet to see a Red Cross FEMA person. Sorry, it's just a fact.
That's it. And we haven't seen them either.
So,
I know we dropped off what goods. I wish we had found you before we dropped them off. But we ended up meeting a chaplain. He didn't want to be named, as I was telling you earlier.
I've got no fear.
He just wanted to use the church. Well,
I understand where he's coming from.
So we were like, okay, well, then no worries. It is what it is. And what do we need to do? And he goes, we'll go up to Cherry. I forgot what is it?
Cherry Grove.
That's it.
Yes, sir.
To the church there, and we dropped off everything there.
Right, that's a great place. They're doing good work.
Ironically, as we're pulling out, he pulls over to the side of the road. And what did he say, George? What did we see? What did he see there? The chaplain, when we were up there dropping the stuff off, FEMA showed up.
Oh, right, as soon as you happen to be there with the camera and stuff. Well, as I said.
Why wasn't there with the camera? But
okay.
I'm wondering, not that they care,
right,
but they had trucks of stuff coming in all of a sudden, something that they didn't have.
Right, before, right.
And only the last couple of days, I believe, they've had access to some of the supplies coming in and whatnot. The people were thanking us.
Right.
You don't thank me.
Sure,
I mean, that's what you do. You help your neighbor.
Yeah, your
right?
fellow man, right. That's what you're supposed to do.
And he goes, I saw 3 FEMA people. And his words were, if I had known FEMA was there, I would have, we would have taken it to a different church.
I got you.
Not because he didn't want to give to him, only because he's concerned about what
will happen with it. Right,
Is FEMA going to take it? Is FEMA going to distribute it to Asheville?
Right, or wherever.
Or wherever they deem their... To me, it's political.
I agree 100%. 100%. It's election year, it's yeah, I agree with you 100%. 100%.
All right, let's take a quick gander down here. I appreciate you sharing this with me.
No problem.
We'll keep it right here. This is insane.
I haven't seen the Red Cross with me in person. None of them have asked me if I need anything. In fact, the only sheriff's department deputy who's asked me if I needed anything was my cousin. And blood ties are thicker than water and all that.
Sure.
But that's the only deputy I've talked to is my cousin. So,
wow. I'm gonna stumble behind you here.
You're fine. Like I said, that's my tractor in the distance, and upside down in that pile of debris is my motorcycle.
Oh, that's your tractor flipped over, the one you were talking about?
Yes, sir. And this is just a few of the small things from a property I've recovered that might be necessary: a boat and a life jacket and a paddle, some chairs and a radio. But out of a 2-story barn full of tools, well, you're looking at it.
Yeah.
It just no longer exists, man.
This is all he has left after.
Yeah, out of a 2-story barn and about 3 sheds full of tools and family heirlooms and antiques and all that, and it's just no longer exists.
So I'm going to ask the dumb question because we've already answered it, but just to see your response.
Yes, sir.
Where are the FEMA shelters and the Red Cross shelters and the cots and the stuff they're supposed to be putting in the schools for you all to
I've not seen any of that stuff. Now, I know that the initial night of the flood, the local Ruritan Club kind of opened its doors, and I know that there was a couple fire departments that did. But now Red Cross shelters, cots, FEMA shelters, stuff like that, not a single one have I seen. And I've been right here in Ground Zero since it happened. I haven't left the valley except to get gas for the generator and come back.
Shit.
I'm just telling the truth.
No,
And what is this, day 5 or 6? Maybe even 7. I don't even know. I don't know what damn day it is, to be honest, because I've been going until I'm too exhausted to continue all day, every day. And I haven't had time to even look for my shit out here because I'm trying to help everybody damn else. That's just a fact. It's been hell. It's been hell on earth here.
Literally all.
I tell everyone it's Mad Maxville when you get down here because, it's about the situation.
Goodbye. The road. You said this is where the road was, right?
Yeah, straight through the field in a downward slope instead of the lake and upward pile of sand that's now existing there. But
and that's your vehicle. what's
left of it.
Don't mind if I film it?
Yeah, go for it. My Xterra and my truck and my Beetle are just gone. Oh, I did find the truck about a mile downriver, crushed like an aluminum can. But the John Deere tractor that was here, the 59 Ford tractor, the Beetle and the Xterra, I've yet to see a single sign of them anywhere.
Does the water run that way?
No, it runs down that way.
It runs that
yes,
way. Okay.
Yes, sir. And this is just, like I said, this is overflow that just got stuck here.
But a mile down the water. And there's your motorcycle.
Yeah, just upside down in the ditch.
The exhaust pipes.
Yeah.
Sticking out of the back. I can't even.
I loved that bike too. I'd been restoring it. I loved it, man. I loved that bike.
Everybody loves their motorcycle.
Exactly. Everybody loves a bike. And
so if I know we're gonna walk around a little bit.
Yeah, dude.
If you could say anything to people, any state really, I mean, what would you say?
I would say if you want to help, come down here and volunteer your labor and the sweat of your brow, because that's what people need more than anything. Is they need physical help. And that's not coming from anywhere. You can pile up all the damn bottles of water you want in the corner of your house, all the cans of food you want in the corner of the house. Yeah, you're eating and drinking, but your life is still gone and destroyed. You need help rebuilding. That's what everyone around here needs. They need actual help in person. That's what I tell everyone and what I ask of anyone. If you want to help, come give your time and give the sweat of your brow. That's what people need.
Okay, I appreciate it.
There was no excuse where it went.
So I got a question. We were driving by this facility that had a whole bunch of razor wire. It looked like a prison, but it didn't have a prison name on it as we were coming through. What the hell is that?
That, I think the name is currently BWXT. It used to be called NFS, or Nuclear Fuel Services, okay? And they enrich uranium and plutonium for weapons applications. Now, for years, they did not admit this and said they only made fuel for our nation's submarines. That's what they did. But nowadays, since they've been renamed, they openly admit that they're enriching weapons grade material. This exact facility, you can Wikipedia this, has lost more material, radioactive material, than any other facility in the country. I think something like 26 broken arrow incidents there of material being lost. 26 or something like that. I might be wrong. You can Wikipedia it. And they've never been closed. They've never been investigated. A couple of years ago, a local fell in the only open air containment ponds for the radiation cooling water. The only open air ones that exist in this nation are right over the hill in Irwin. Now, why the hell would you leave open air radioactive water to disperse into the environment? That's my question.
It's a good question.
And the Blackhawks seem to be going about 5 or 6 miles as a crow flies from the facility and not letting anyone back in that area.
So you can't even go back there past
to see what they're doing back there. And if you go on Google Maps and try to look at the area and go back a couple years on that Internet Archive and do it too, you'll notice that landscape changes real drastically every year or two. So it's almost like maybe they're pasting a photo over what's real. Almost like, not saying that's a fact, but sometimes it looks like World War I's no man's land. Sometimes it's nothing but trees and forest.
Is it backed up to the water?
According to the people blocking me from going back there, the river washed all the way to the road, and there is no road to get to either side, Little Germany or Bumpus Cove. Now, my buddy that lives in the last house on Bumpus Cove Road said that he got out just fine with his family. Now, I don't know if that's before the road washed out or what, as they say it did, and I know there is a section missing. But it's awful funny the choppers are going back there and nobody seems to know why when there's no bodies back there, no people or survivors. It's all already been checked according to them.
Interesting. And like I said, we drove by and saw the razor wire.
It's basically martial law back there right now. The state trooper's telling anyone if you're caught back there, they'll shoot to kill orders. And I've heard that from 5 or 6 people that live there.
We heard that at the gas station.
There's a curfew and everything back there. And if you're caught after curfew, it's shoot to kill.
I think it was 8 o'clock curfew, correct?
Yep.
We heard that too. So
Yeah.
we was able to confirm
I was
that.
going to take a girl I know up there a couple of packs of cigarettes because she'd been stranded there for a week and she was just dying for some nicotine and anything to take the edge off the hell we've all went through, man. You know, and I was afraid to be honest, because it was past curfew, and from what I hear, they'll shoot you if you're back there past curfew. And I don't want to lose my life.
Yeah, no kidding. And of course, we can't confirm it fully, but it's
No.
coming from people that are pretty.
Yeah, that's coming from the people that live there.
That's a pretty good
that
source.
are watching stuff go by them every day, watching the helicopters, even watching semi-trailers go back there that don't have any markings on them and don't seem to come out.
So there's no places back there for food
There's
for you to pick
nowhere
up.
to take it. But so why are semis going back there and not coming back out?
Interesting. I appreciate you sharing that because we actually drove by and we're wondering what the hell it was.
That's just what I've been told by the people who live there.
It's fair. That's a good story.